Good morning. Today I had a request for the words to Gayatri. So this was my first chant. This was what essentially first got me into practicing spirituality regularly with formal practices instead of just an internal process by myself, which was more unconscious. So the words are Om, Bu, so that's O-M or A-U-M, depending on how you say it, and B-H-U. Quick note: all these words are, I believe, they're transliterated, so they're not. There's no exact perfect translation for the spelling. They're just trying to capture the sound, the phonetic sound of them. So it's O-M, and then Bu, B-H-U, and then Burva, Bouvorah. I've seen this one. I mean, it's spelled a number of different ways depending on which words you're using to spell it. Burva. So Om Bu Burva Burva. You can say it B-U-R Burva, or but then it kind of gets more subtle and complex as you practice it. There's more to it. Svaha, S-V-A-H-A. So that's Om Bu Burva Svaha. And it's Tatssavitur. So Tat Savitur. Tat Savitur. That's Tatssavitur. Again, if you do a Google search, I'm sure you can find many different translations, and I actually wrote out my own based on how I see the phonetics. That's slightly different than I've read it before, just because it helped me learn by reminding myself the subtle inflections, because the English language isn't going to be able to capture the subtle inflections of how to say this, so we have to just kind of hear them and practice them as well as try to study them. So Tat Savitur, Varenyam. Varenyam. And again, I've seen these words as separate, I've seen them hyphenated, and I've seen them as one. So it really depends on. We're trying to capture the essence of a sound and a rhythm here, and there's multiple ways to do it, and we do it by making it, emphasizing certain aspects of it, so we see that kind of part of the pattern. And this can happen, like I said, in many different ways, but it's generally good if it happens in one of the ways that works. So it's nice to keep practicing it until it feels right, and keep on trying new ways until it feels really right. Tat savitur varenyam. And then it's Bargo, Bhargo, Devasya, Devasaya, like Deva, Asya, Dimahi, Dhimhi. So it's Dimahi. And then it's Dyoyona. It's Dhyo, Dio. Dyoyonah. Dyoyona. And then it's Prachodayat. So that's Prachodayat. Prachodayat. And so I'll talk a little bit about some of the specifics that I've been taught about this. I'll start with the end. The T is very specific. It is very crisp and short, but not hard and not too defined. So it's the subtleness of having a lot of presence in it, but only for a very brief amount of time and not very elaborate. So it's Prachodayat. So it's very it's not hard or heavy in any way, but it's very solid and final and brief but full. It's talked about extensively in different ways. It's like a big deal to some people. Okay, so the pronunciation just comes over time. I've actually good indicator that I've said this chant in past lives before, because I know the pronunciation of it. So I just had to practice it over and over again. My pronunciation got better by saying it more. I didn't research it. I didn't listen to it or ask people about it to learn how to pronounce it better. I just did it over and over again, and it's evolved to the point where I've had people say, "Are you Arabic?" Like, what country are you from? So it just came in within naturally. I think we all have the ability to do this to more or less of an extent, because we've all cycled through being so many beings on this planet that we can tap into these ancient memories. This just happens to be one that's super strong for me, so it's super easy for me. So anyways, that's Ombu burva svaha tat savitur varenyam bargo devasya dimahi dio yo na pracho dayat. And so that's the pracho, that's the rolled R, and can take some practice, and it is not 100% necessary, but it's fun. And so that's it. And this basically just practicing it over and over again. And like I said, looking up multiple translations, maybe listening to multiple recordings, because people say this mantra and this chant. It's not a mantra; it's more complicated than that. But people say the Gayatri. It's called the Gayatri mantra. Sometimes people say this a lot. This is like a very common thing, and people have their own style. And the idea is that it's being made real. Like I was talking before, it's being made real. So there are different ways to make it real, but it's a certain interface with the sound universe. And so it's awesome to listen to different people say it. I just listened to, I think, Sai Baba say it, and it was completely different. It was like its own complete style. The way I say it's a little bit more of a Western version. It has a little bit more of a sing-along feel to it, but still very structured. All right, and the next question was how I woke up. So I woke up. I've kind of always been awake to a certain extent, but I really woke up whenever I was faced with a great challenge and just needed to overcome it, and so a big difficulty in my life that eventually overcame. But more recently, it was on June 30th of this year, I believe that was. Yeah. Then 6/30/19. That is when I had a sudden realization that I've been doing all this spiritual work, and I have been playing, just compulsively playing with all these ideas and just like rapidly learning on Facebook about spirituality more and more every day, and practicing new things and meditating all the time. And then all of a sudden I realized that I had recently seen an infographic that just very simple, small square, described the chakras and how they had different petals, and the petals represented different dimensions. And it just made sense to me that this was a blueprint for the astral body. This was like, this is a representation, this little picture, and these a few little numbers. This says what we are in our entirety, the whole spectrum of who we are, from our highest self to this individual being here on earth. And I said, hey, wait a second. I can just, with my intention, with my visualization, with my third eye, which I've been practicing with my, since I was a tiny little kid, daydreaming and making pictures in my head all the time. I can just reach up with my chi, energetically, my will, my attention, and say, hey, my highest self, get down here. I'm ready. Maybe I wasn't ready before. Maybe I was like curious about it and like asked and say, hey, can you come down here and play with me? But I wasn't really ready. And now I'm like, hey, I'm ready. Get down here. So I just like reached up literally with my imagination, with my arms, with my chi, my muscles slightly flexed, and my energy really cultivated and strong, and kind of like with rage, but not in rage. There's that high energy, high tension, energetic tension. Reached up as far as I could, and then energetically reached up all the way and like grabbed hold in like a bear hug, and just like grabbed my highest self and just like dragged him all the way down, and then put like all my weight into it, all my gravity, yanked all the way down, grabbed him all the way down here, made sure he touched all the way down into earth. And then now I've just kind of established a clearer link that way. And now when I want more of my higher self, it's a game. I can be like, oh yeah, I haven't been calling my higher self recently. Hey, get down here. Hey, look, this is fun. Look, I'm going to look through my eyes more. I'm going to be more of myself now. Let's have some fun down here. And I'll kind of coax my higher self down. He's like, yeah, come on, okay, let's do this. And it's super fun. Next question was, how do I connect more? So there's so many different ways I can connect more. This is one of my favorite ways now. So this is the Om Satyam. I'll do an instructional for the mudra aspect of the Gayatri Sutra. So Om Satyam is the angel body download. It's the opening of our crown chakra, which is a portal to the violet stream, which is a higher bandwidth of information. So we've got bandwidths of information streaming at us all the time from heavens, and some on the earth too. But the violet stream is a high bandwidth. It's like our version of fiber optic. It's like wireless fiber optic. It's super stream. There's super data in it, so we can actually download like more of our true personality through this stream, because it's high, rich bandwidth. Super high detailed bandwidth. So that's the violet stream. That's located in the back of the top of the head. So meditations about opening the violet portal, like opening the antenna, opening the parabola dish, opening just the accepting, just like imagine that there's just violet rays streaming down all the time, because there are. everywhere all the time, we just can open up and receive them and specifically call for ours, or call for anything that we need in particular, like a highly advanced technology when we start using our antenna to selectively call for what we know is there. So increasing the wake up, we can just make the things that we think are real and want to be real, make them real, tangibly. This is how we really connect. How to connect more with ourselves and with the universe. We find these things that people talk about, and we find these things that we're interested in, and we find ways to make them real. And we don't give up. We keep on trying to make them real until they're real. We don't we want it so bad that we're not looking for halfway. So we're not interested in illusion. So is what it is. So we don't want to try to create a story that feels like spirituality for us. We want to keep trying at spirituality until we feel spirituality and we are more of ourself. This is the goal here. So we're not interested in kind of what our thoughts and feelings and what our words and we're more interested in just embodying more of ourself. So the ways we can do this are by studying our self-reflection. This is one of my favorite things, contemplation of self, contemplation of thoughts and feelings. That's a really good meditation. But also looking to make spiritual practices real. We have so many different spiritual practices available to us. We can, look at post-it boards, go online, and just find different aspects of spirituality. Start playing with them. Find one that piques your curiosity in some way or sustains your curiosity a little bit, and then start breathing a lot of life into it. Just say, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to do this like as if I want, a 4-year college degree. Or I'm going to do this as if like I want to rock climbing. Rock climbing looks awesome. I want to dedicate 6 months to going to rock climbing classes until I can really do it by myself. This is kind of what spirituality really takes sometimes. Sometimes we're just ready and we grab it and we go for it right away. But other times if we decide we're ready and we want to do it, this is what it takes. It's the physical thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to throw myself through the hoop and then just start doing it. It'll just work eventually. I'm going to practice riding this bicycle until I can actually ride this bicycle. I'll fall off a bunch or whatever, or I'll get disinterested for a little while, but I'm going to come back to it. So spirituality is just the same as that. Hold on, there is a little bit of noise in the background here. I'm going to transition. Next question was how to connect more. Reiki defined. So this next question, how do I define Reiki? I must have posted something about Reiki. Anyways, Reiki is, as far as I know, I don't practice it extensively. I use it kind of intuitively, and I've worked with people who use it a lot. But it's essentially the practice of visualization of wholeness. So for use in healing, we go to the area that has an image of it not being whole, because we recreate our cells and our mind tells ourselves what to do to a certain extent. So we go to the area that's not whole and we imagine it as whole, and we do this in a way that's very tangible. So the more we know about anatomy, the more we can visualize anatomy. If we know internal anatomy, that really helps, and we can be much more detailed. So someone who's a master at internal anatomy can use Reiki to heal internal wounds, because we're creating a holographic image, and because our bodies are basically just holographic images, and because everything around us is just like a holographic image with a biological component, but even biology responds to these deeper bandwidths. Reiki is all about creating the positive version. So my friend said he was at dance and some woman fell over in pain and her leg was hurting so bad, and she her muscle fell out of place, was completely out of place, and she was in agony, and he just reached down, did a polarity, which is meaning the top and the bottom slightly offset, and you just send energy in one and receive on the other. But he just said to the woman, we can heal this right now, right away, but you have to 100% believe that this is going to work right now. Believe me right now as I imagine that this wound never happened and that your body is completely fine. I'm going to imagine this picture that your leg is completely back to normal and fine, and your muscle is relaxed and comfortable, normal, but I need you as well to do this with me, and you have to believe it 100%. And that's what they did. And he said, if we don't believe this, if we only are halfway there, this could take weeks to heal. And so he did it, and she 100% trusted him. He's a healer. He's, known in the community for doing this kind of stuff. And she was fine. It took, all of a minute or two, and she was almost 100% better. And, she had to like stretch out her leg for a minute. So Reiki can be a really powerful tool. I think I might have mentioned in the live stream that there's a lot of Reiki classes, so like massage classes, especially here in California, are just so common. So all of this healing work, no class will ever teach us how to be a healer. So this is probably what I was saying when I think someone had said it could be, I might have mentioned it could be dangerous to do Reiki. It's not so much dangerous in that classes don't teach us to be healers, and classes don't tell us how to be good healers. Classes just provide us with tools. So we have to already be healers and have taken that oath to ourselves. Have the level of receptivity and curiosity and sensitivity to be a healer, and then we want to be expanding our toolbox and being curious about different modalities. And this is why we'd reach out into Reiki, or we find that we're intuitively doing Reiki. This is what we're called to do. I know a lot of people that I just, through all these conversations I've had on with Facebook friends, that a lot of people do Reiki and they didn't know it was Reiki. They do the visualization healing because it's part of natural healing. It's what we want to do naturally. It's a certain amount of logic. Like, I hurt myself. Oh wait, that was an accident. Oh wait, I want to go back to how things were before the accident. I'm going to visualize and send the image of how things are normally and healed to the part of my body that is now in a reaction to a trauma that occurred, like a physical or emotional trauma that occurred. So it has a lot of logic because scientists have found that injury and pain, what is it, like 70% psychological, which means that it's a very small percentage is the actual difficulty, pain, and the majority of the problem is the perpetuation and the story building around the pain. So when we say ow and then we go on to say that hurt, and then we go on to try to blame something, and that's building a story around it. If we just like stub our toe and say ow, oh my god, I was not paying attention, that sucked, and then like ugh, and then really feel the pain and be like, oh yeah, that's what it feels like to mess up like that, and then do some Reiki, then be like, okay, I acknowledge that. Okay, now my toe is fine. Yeah, there was a little problem, but it wasn't that big a deal. It's fine now. My toe is relaxed. It's the exact size and color and texture, and it feels fine, and I can walk fine. And you don't. It's good to stop and do this process and drop in and not be walking around while you're doing this and really give it all of our attention. But this is what Reiki is. It's acknowledging the problem and then solving the problem in a very simple, direct way. This can, like I was saying before, people who really know internal anatomy can use Reiki really powerfully because they can see exactly where the definition between like the veins and the muscles and the nerve, this is really detailed stuff. But as a general application, it's great too, because we can just say, hey head, I know you have a headache, and I think that's because I ate something I shouldn't have, and I ate something I shouldn't have because I was worrying about something that I should have let go of. Okay, I'm going to let go of that worry right now, and I'm going to make sure I have some better food available so I don't accidentally eat something that I probably shouldn't. And okay, now head, it's okay, you can relax now. I know you were telling me something. I know you're a little over concerned, and maybe you had to process more. There's more going on you had to deal with. So you had that little headache, but I just resolved it. The message received. It's going to be easy and calm now. So I can talk myself down from having a headache now through that process by identifying the problem, solving it, coming up with the actual solutions tangibly, writing them down or memorizing them. And then by telling my head to say, hey, look, I solved the problem. It's all right now. And it's all right. You can go back to your normal state. Everything is cool now. Using a little bit of a booster, I have a essential oil blend that if it's really strong, if it's something I've ignored for too long, that can give me like more instantaneous relief. It has a lot of menthol and camphor and frankincense, a bunch of wonderful stuff in it that's just amazing for temporary pain relief. There's nothing better than that. Anywhere on my body, temporary pain relief. It's amazing. Okay, so that is the Gayatri mantra pronunciation, a little bit more detail about it. The Gayatri Sutra, that's actually not a mantra. A mantra is something that we say to ourselves because it makes us feel alive and more connected. So another way that we can feel more connected, I'll expand on that subject just a little bit more. A mantra. So one was given to me recently. I've been playing with a little bit. I find I have so many connections that a particular mantra isn't too important to me because generating the feel of love and connection was the purpose of this mantra I was given. And this is something I like to do as my moment-to-moment practice without needing a mantra to do it. But it's Baba Nam Kevalam. And so that's BABANAMKEVALAM. And I'm sure if you look up Baba Nam Kevalam on Google, you'll find there's a dance that goes with it, and I'm sure you'll find plenty of more information. So it's Baba Nam Kevalam. That's just how I say it, and that just means that I take comfort and joy in knowing that we are all one. That God is a form of consciousness that is all consciousness and is everywhere and is everything, and just take comfort in that. I mean, it's what everybody is trying to find. When everybody is drinking alcohol and staying up late and trying to find a partner and going out to bars or reading and writing, what we're all really trying to do. I mean, we're genuinely trying to do things here and there, but basically what we're really trying to do is find more connection to source. We want to find it through other people. We want to find it through the mystery of the universe. We want to find it through ourselves, but we're looking for that connection to source, that reaffirmation, cuddling up next to someone and getting snuggly, looking in someone's eyes, having a nice hug, giving a nice handshake, all of these things. We're just looking to connect with source more. So Baba Nam Kevalam is a mantra that was taught to me recently, just for this, just so we can generate this ourselves, so we no longer have to look externally to find that in a glass of beer or in a new partner or in a croissant or whatever it happens to be, wherever we're looking for. I mean, when I talk to friends about drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes, half the time they say they like the social ritual more, and they some of them have actually given up drinking coffee and cigarettes and just enjoy the social part of it. They still go and hang out with the baristas and hang out with the smokers because they enjoy that aspect of it. But anyways, so these are the points that I was asked about to talk about for today. I'd love more questions and comments, more specifics and details. I guess next time I'll do the more of the sutra, which includes the mudras with the hands, the 13-point rotation that I do with the chakra clearing and the chakra toning. I'll do a whole one on the chakra clearing and the chakra toning as well. I want to do one on my sun meditation. I've been loving the sun meditation. It's super simple and super awesome. So yeah, please let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to elaborate on anything, or if there's any more subjects you would like me to cover. All right, have a wonderful morning.